I'm 80 years old, and what I'm about to tell you will probably make you uncomfortable. Everything you think you know about building a successful life is built on lies. And the people who taught you these lies, your parents, your teachers, the entire system, they either don't know any better or they're too afraid to tell you the truth. You see, I spent 60 years making mistakes. 60 years. And I'm about to share 8 of them with you. Not because I want sympathy, but because I'm running out of time to warn you. And if you don't listen, you'll waste decades of your life just like I did. Not years, decades. At 58, I collapsed in my kitchen. One moment I was pouring coffee. The next I was on the floor, unable to move my left side. My wife found me lying there, coffee spreading across the tile like some sick metaphor for my life spilling away. The doctors called it a cerebrovascular accident. That's medical speak for stroke. My brain had stopped getting blood. Parts of it started dying. And lying in that hospital bed, unable to speak clearly, unable to move without help, I realized something that shattered me completely. I had wasted almost 6 decades. Not lived them, wasted them. Let me save you 60 years of regret. Here are the 8 mistakes I made, the 8 things that, if I could go back, I would change immediately. And I'm begging you, don't make the same ones. Mistake number 1. I confused being busy with being important. You think if you're busy, you matter. If your calendar is full, you're successful. If people need you, you're valuable. I thought the same thing. For 40 years, I wore my busyness like a badge of honor. 80-hour work weeks, back-to-back meetings, no time for lunch, always rushing, always stressed, always needed. And you know what? It was all meaningless. I was like a hamster on a wheel, running faster and faster, getting nowhere. The busier I got, the more I had to do. The more meetings I attended, the more meetings I was invited to. It never ended. It just grew. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Being busy doesn't mean you're doing anything important. Most of what fills your day doesn't matter. You're just moving papers around, attending meetings that could be emails, responding to urgent things that aren't actually important. You're confusing motion with progress. I had a colleague, Steven, busiest man I ever met. Always traveling, always in meetings, always exhausted. He'd brag about working through weekends, answering emails at midnight. He retired at 65, died 6 months later. Heart attack. At his funeral, his daughter said something that haunts me. My dad was always too busy for us, and now he's gone, and I realize I barely knew him. What are you busy doing right now? Is it actually important? Or are you just filling time, convincing yourself that being busy means you're living? Because I promise you, on your deathbed, you won't wish you'd attended more meetings. Mistake number 2. I waited for permission to live my life. You're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay. Okay to quit that job. Okay to start that business. Okay to move to that city. Okay to pursue that dream. You're waiting for permission. And let me tell you something that will save you decades. That permission will never come. I wanted to be a photographer. I was good at it. Really good. But it wasn't practical. My father said, "You need a real career." My guidance counselor said, "Photography is a hobby, not a job." So I got a business degree, worked in finance for 35 years, and I hated almost every day of it. I kept telling myself, when I retire, then I'll do photography. When I have time, when it's more stable. Retirement came, and you know what? My hands shake now. My eyes aren't what they used to be. The arthritis makes it hard to hold a camera. I waited so long for permission that by the time I gave it to myself, my body had other plans. Here's the thing. Nobody is going to tell you it's okay to live the life you want. Your parents want you safe. Your friends want you to stay the same. Society wants you predictable. Everyone has an opinion about what you should do, and all of those opinions will keep you trapped. The life you want? You have to take it. Nobody's going to hand it to you. Nobody's going to say, "Yes, you have permission to be happy." You're waiting for a green light that doesn't exist. I'm 80 now. I take photos on my phone. It's not the same. And every time I see a beautiful sunset that I can't properly capture, I think about all those years I spent waiting for someone to tell me it was okay to do what I loved. Don't be me. Stop waiting. Mistake number 3. I sacrificed my health for everything else. You think you're invincible. You think you can eat garbage, skip sleep, ignore exercise, and somehow it won't catch up to you. I thought that too. I was wrong, dead wrong, almost literally. For decades, I treated my body like a machine. Ran it hard, never maintained it. Fast food because I was too busy to cook. 4 hours of sleep because I had work to do. No exercise because I didn't have time. Stress levels through the roof, but that was just the price of success. My body kept sending me warnings. Chest pains in my 40s, high blood pressure, gaining weight, always tired. But I ignored it all. I had more important things to do. The stroke at 58? That wasn't bad luck. That was the inevitable result of decades of abuse. You know what's funny? Not funny, haha. Funny, tragic. I sacrificed my health to build a career and make money. And then I spent all that money trying to get my health back. Tens of thousands of dollars on medical bills. Medications I'll take for life. Physical therapy. And still I'll never be what I was. Here's what you need to understand. Your health isn't something you can fix later. You can't save up neglect and then pay it off when it's convenient. Your body is keeping score. Every bad meal, every skipped workout, every sleepless night, it's all adding up. And one day, the bill comes due. I have a friend who did it right. Exercised every morning. Ate well. Prioritized sleep. I used to think he was wasting time. Now he's 82, still hiking mountains, while I can barely walk to the mailbox without getting winded. Who wasted time? You think you'll take care of your health later. Later is a lie. Your body is deteriorating right now, today. Every day you wait makes it harder. Stop treating your health like an optional upgrade. It's the foundation of everything. Mistake number 4, I prioritize money over relationships. Let me tell you something about money. It's important. You need it. But it's not the most important thing, and I learned this lesson way too late. I missed my daughter's school plays because I was working. Skipped family vacations because I couldn't afford to be away from the office. Forgot anniversaries. Missed birthdays. Was always too tired to really engage with my family. But I was making good money, climbing the ladder, building wealth. I thought that was what mattered. My son got married when he was 27. I barely knew his wife. You know why? Because I'd been working so much that I'd missed most of his 20s. I'd show up for the big events, sure, but I wasn't present for the life happening between them, and he stopped sharing that life with me. When I had my stroke, my kids came to the hospital. And I remember lying there, unable to speak clearly, looking at their faces and realizing I'd traded their childhoods for money. I'd traded their presents for promotions. And I could never get those years back. Never. You're doing the same thing right now, aren't you? Working late instead of having dinner with family. Taking that extra shift instead of going to your kids' game. Checking emails during conversations. Always distracted. Always elsewhere. Always chasing one more dollar. Here's what nobody tells you. Your relationships have an expiration date. Your parents won't be around forever. Your kids grow up faster than you think. Your spouse won't wait forever for you to finally have time. These relationships decay in real time while you're busy making money. Money is replaceable. Time with people you love is not. And you're trading the irreplaceable for the replaceable. Think about that. Mistake number 5. I live for other people's approval. This one eats at me. For 60 years, I shaped my life around what other people thought. What they expected. What would impress them. I bought cars I didn't want because they looked successful. Lived in a neighborhood I couldn't afford because it had the right address. Took jobs I hated because they had impressive titles. I was performing. Constantly. Trying to prove something to people whose opinions didn't actually matter. My neighbors. My colleagues. People I barely knew. I was so busy trying to impress them that I forgot to ask myself what I actually wanted. You're doing this right now. That job you hate but keep because it sounds good when people ask what you do. That degree you're pursuing because your parents expect it. The life you're building that looks good on paper but feels empty inside. You're living for an audience that doesn't care. Here's the brutal truth. People aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. They're too busy worrying about what you think of them. Everyone's performing for everyone else, And nobody's actually living. The people whose approval you're seeking, half of them don't care about you. The other half won't remember you 5 years after you're gone. And you're shaping your entire life around their opinions. Does that make sense to you? Because it shouldn't. Mistake number 6. I put off joy until someday. You're telling yourself a story. When I finish school, then I'll be happy. When I get promoted, then I'll relax. When I pay off debt, then I'll enjoy life. When I retire, then I'll do what I love. Someday. That magical someday when everything will be perfect and you'll finally start living. I bought that lie completely. I spent 40 years in a job I didn't like, telling myself it was temporary. Just until I made partner. Then just until I paid off the house. Then just until the kids finished college. Then just until retirement. Always just until. You think you have unlimited todays. You don't. You think there's always tomorrow to start living. There isn't. Every day you postpone joy is a day you never get back. The trip you're not taking, the hobby you're not starting, the life you're not living, you're gambling that you'll have time later. My wife wanted to go to Italy. Kept asking me, but I was always too busy, too broke, too something. She died at 69, never saw Italy, and I live with that guilt every single day. We had the time, we had the money, but I kept putting it off. And now she's gone and Italy doesn't mean anything without her. What are you putting off? What are you waiting for? Permission, more money, less stress, a better time? Let me tell you, the perfect time doesn't exist. Life is always messy. There's always a reason to wait. And if you wait, you'll wake up at 80, like me, drowning in regrets about all the joy you postponed. Mistake number 7. I avoided difficult conversations. This one cost me relationships, cost me peace, cost me years of unnecessary pain. I spent my entire life avoiding hard conversations, conflicts, confrontations, anything uncomfortable. I'd rather let problems fester than address them directly. I had a falling out with my brother when I was 32. Something stupid. A misunderstanding about money, and instead of calling him and talking it through, I let it sit. Months turned into years. Years turned into decades. We barely spoke for 28 years. 28 years. He died last year at 78. And we never really resolved it. We'd gotten to a place where we were civil. But the real damage was done. 28 years of brotherhood, lost. Because I was too cowardly to have one difficult conversation. You're doing this too. That person you need to apologize to. That conversation you need to have with your spouse. That conflict at work you're avoiding. You think ignoring it makes it go away. It doesn't. It grows. It spreads. It poisons everything around it. Here's what I learned. Way too late. Difficult conversations don't get easier by waiting. They get harder. The longer you avoid them, the bigger they become. That small issue becomes a huge problem. That misunderstanding becomes a permanent rift. That apology you need to make becomes impossible to give. And then someone dies, or moves away, or the relationship ends, and you never get the chance. The words you needed to say stay stuck inside you forever. I have a list of things I never said to people who are gone now. It's a heavy list. Stop avoiding the hard conversations. Have them now while you still can. Yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, they might not go well. But the alternative, carrying regret for decades, is so much worse. Mistake number 8. I didn't ask for help when I needed it. Pride. That's what this one is about. Stupid, destructive pride. I thought asking for help was weakness. I thought I had to figure everything out on my own. I thought admitting I was struggling meant I was failing. So I suffered in silence. Depression in my 40s that I never addressed. Financial problems I tried to solve alone. A marriage that was falling apart while I pretended everything was fine. I was drowning, but I kept telling everyone I was swimming. The stroke broke me in ways that forced me to accept help. Physical therapy, speech therapy. I couldn't dress myself for months. Couldn't drive. Couldn't live independently. And you know what? Learning to accept help, to be vulnerable, to admit I couldn't do it alone, it was liberating. But here's the tragedy. I could have had that liberation decades earlier. All those years I struggled alone, there were people who would have helped. Friends, family, professionals. But I was too proud to ask. Too scared to admit I wasn't okay. And I paid for that pride with years of unnecessary suffering. You're doing this right now. Struggling with something you won't talk about. Pretending you're fine when you're falling apart. Rejecting help because you think you should be able to handle it alone. And that pride is killing you. Slowly, quietly. Here's the truth. Asking for help isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's courage. It's the thing that separates people who recover from people who drown. I've learned this at 80, after wasting 6 decades proving I didn't need anyone. Don't be like me.